Right, now I'm going to talk about the darkest night of my life, where I have been on risperidone since 07. This was in March 09 after being kicking my ex-girlfriend Samantha Woodward, who was the one that talked about paedophile tendencies aimed at her ex-boyfriend. I want to investigate that still. I want to get to the bottom of that one. That's going to bug me for life. But what really occurred, and this is, you're probably going to think I'm the most dodgiest bastard on the planet, and you might be right from where I was during that particular time in my life where I was drinking copious amounts of alcohol, just to blank out the pain and suffering and the soul loss and the fact that it's the only medication on earth that, when I say send you to hell, you wouldn't understand what I mean unless you've been on it. It actually makes you feel like your body's on fire, you've got no protection, your whole aura is destroyed. But I'm not gonna make what's the word? Excuses. I bought 2 knives, I bought rope, I bought condoms, I bought them from Wilco's. I then walked up the stairs in Shrewsbury. I can't remember exactly how I got to Shelton Hospital, but my thoughts were that I was going to rape, kill and destroy this woman. Now, the main reason I was going to destroy her was because she was hissing at me. Now, I know that might sound quite minor to you, but when you feel the fear that I felt and the hell that drug causes and the monster it turns you into, I think they realised eventually that the reason this all came about, and it could have been murder, but it wasn't, it was attempted murder. It could have even been attempted murder, but it wasn't even attempted murder, because thank my lucky stars, and I thank her lucky stars, that Larry and Steve came out and I dropped the knives and the rope and the condoms into well, I don't know what you call it, like a plant pot outside. I also had gloves, but I wasn't stupid. I was stupid enough not to wear the gloves, so my prints were found on the items. I then got a lift back from the police to my home address, where Neil Robdale was trying to freak me out. I called the crisis team. They turned up at 4 a.m. I didn't answer the phone. The long and short of the story was that a couple of weeks later, the police entered my property, and that was some quite high-ranking officers. And I said to them straight, "Is anger a mental health problem?" And they just thought, "There's nothing wrong with this guy," and let me go. I can remember what happened. Then what happened was I got locked out. As per usual, none of the neighbours helped me. They wouldn't let me in, there was no out-of-hours service to get into the building, so eventually I climbed up on the roof, climbed through a window and got back in. I kind of liked being at that property. It was 16 Upton Lane, Shrewsbury, SY2 5RR. It wasn't a bad flat. It wasn't very comfortable because it was owned by Trident, and Trident are very controlling, as are a lot of people in these positions. I also had a broken foot, which was also caused through the risperidone. Lack of concentration, lack of balance, lack of lack of coordination, lack of stability, It just destroys your nervous system. It breaks you down into a bit like a baby, but not even a sensible baby. It's kind of like it's a way of making you feel small, and it's a way of making you feel inadequate and weak and low life, and it's a way of Shrewsbury putting me down, and not all of Shrewsbury, admittedly, only some of them. But yeah, that I've got to admit that was the darkest night of my life, and thank my lucky stars I didn't go through with it. But I was going to bury her body, I was going to fuck her corpse. That was the level of darkness within my system created by that substance. And a lot of people know who've been on it and who have experienced it, and who have been around people that have been on it, know the dark, this decrepit, decaying fear and complete destruction of human capabilities, and you go blind, you can't see anything, you can't even cross roads. It's pretty vicious, violent, sadistic medication, and I feel like saying I can't make any excuses, but the truth is that if you've experienced it, and even a little drop of it, you will know, you will understand where I'm coming from. So I hope you can kind of realise that that is what has caused this, and that genuine Matthew Wallace, as a lot of people know, is a kind, gentle, happy, sensible, friendly, and gullible in many ways. Very gullible, very naive at times, but I've learnt my lessons, and being in Nottingham has kind of woken me up to that fact. And but anyways, what went on from there was that they knew what had happened, they knew the danger I possess, and they set me up on a separate charge, and they took me to the police station and then on to the Dudnt jail, where, to be honest, I had the time of my life. It wasn't a bad time at all. So yeah, now you know my biggest secret. That is all the skeletons out the cupboard. That's the paedophile shit in Lincoln. That's the nearly killing someone and raping their corpse in Lake Vyrnwy. I knew exactly where I was going to bury the body. And then that I was being ghosted out between prisons. And funnily enough, they left coffee for me. They had it all arranged in... There's a lot more to that story, and I'd like to talk about that in the future, what went down in the Dana. But what they did was they transferred me to Dovegate, and I thought Dovegate was about peace, and my lovely care coordinator Neil Robdale told me that I'd end up in a TIC, which is a special sort of camp within the jail for the most dangerous and sadistic prisoners. Anyway, I won't go into too much detail, but I'll just skirt across the surface. I was 13-1 being transferred from the main wing, where they give out condoms because they promote gay sex, because it keeps the prison quiet. I was then on the hospital wing. A lot went down on that, I don't know what you call it, that centre, should we say, that block. And then I spent 6 weeks there. I was then sent to Market Drayton and Magistrates, where I was